And again, this is just a refresher. Some of you guys might remember how to do this, some of you guys might not. But like I said, some of this stuff is on the exam, right? The whole CMYK, RGB, black and white. So let's launch Photoshop. And you should have downloaded that zip file of photos. And don't forget, I mean, I can't, if it says that, just say okay. Yeah. Um, Whatever you guys end up doing after high school, right? A reminder, there's always ways to make a living doing some kind of graphics, video, photography. Uh, and I'm not gonna lie, especially with the new AI stuff, there's a lot going on where, and I've showed you guys this before, right? With last year too. There's so much stuff out there that's free as far as assets, and it can be copyright free, right? Uh, Unfortunately, I see people kind of stealing stuff all the time, right? But ultimately, if there's a market and you need to make money, uh, just be aware of that, right? Obviously, you don't want to just literally take somebody's images, right? But I think some of you guys saw, I found this one on Unsplash, and if you want to use Unsplash for this assignment, you can do so. I would prefer you use your own photos, right? We're just going to use these that I gave you as samples. But anyway, I found this one on Unsplash. As you know, I like these type of cars, and then it happens to be the racetrack at Austin. So I did a quick edit. I just printed a poster for myself, right? Sometimes you just want something for yourself or for a friend. You're not like making money with it or anything. And in those cases, obviously, it's okay, right? If you get something from someone else, uh, that would be very difficult for you to do on your own, right? And of course, there's a lot of AI going on. Some young people are reluctant to use it, but I don't know. Some of it I think is going to be helpful, and if you don't end up using it, you're going to kind of fall behind. Just my opinion. Anyway, so let's open up. Let's choose one file, open. You have Illustrator open, and I have these pictures for you. Let me put them in list view or column view. Let's do let's do this one with a building. You guys see it? Can you guys see this one? Okay, now notice also this is the CR2. That means it was set up on one of these cameras, the ones we use on field trips, as raw format, which is fine. And I don't know if you see it opens. Did you guys open it like this?
Yeah.
All right. So this is like a plugin on Photoshop and a lot of other photo edits. And I don't know about you guys, but on my screen, it looks a little hazy, right? It's not very, it doesn't pop, right? You guys agree?
Yeah.
The background, as far as the sky, is very flat. Could there be some clouds there? I don't know, right? But when you open something up like this in the CR2 mode, uh, it lets you kind of do some edits right away, right? You have a lot more control. So if you ever shoot with your cameras, uh, I know Jonah got his own. If you shoot raw format, it really allows you to do a lot of stuff right before. Okay. Now, I'm gonna do a little bit here, and then you're gonna do what you want on yours, right? However you think it kind of looks right. Uh, I'm gonna do a little bit of exposure, bring that up, a little bit of contrast. Again, you don't have to do them exactly because your monitor might look a little bit different. I'm gonna darken up the shadows and the saturation. I'm gonna bump mine up, right? That increases the brightness of some of these colors, kind of like that. All right. Uh, Well, I'm gonna bring up the whites. Since there's not a lot going on in the background of the clouds, I kind of increased it on mine. Kind of like that. It looks a little better to me. It's not as hazy. And believe it or not, there is a kind of auto sharpening. You know how I showed you guys the previous year to do that quick mask mode that you would paint the areas red and then go back and unsharp mask. If you happen to shoot in this CR2 or raw mode, you can actually kind of do that manually. Kind of hard to see on mine, but I can see it in the bricks when I bring it up. You can kind of zoom in a little bit, Command plus, and you can actually see it in mine on the bricks when you kind of bring that up. Now, the only thing that happens if you go too high on the sharpening, you'll get a lot of like digital noise, like little dots, little texture. I'm just gonna go kind of like around there. All right. So um this is one we are gonna do. Also, you can mess around a little bit with the curves, but I'm not gonna do that on this one. I'm just gonna leave it like that. We'll do the curves in regular uh Photoshop. All right. So are you guys ready there? Did you get some stuff done? Kind of similar? Yeah? Matias? You're good? Julian? Yeah? Daniel? Brandon? All right. So then hit done. Oh, should I have done or hold on. Wow. I think we should have done hold on. I got it messed up there. Sorry, I messed up there. We should have done open. I'm sorry. So uh you can go back and just open it. It'll keep the settings it did on mine and then hit open. I'm sorry. Got a brain fart. So if you go back and you open the same file, it should have the same adjustments that you did. Yes? No? Did it, guys? Yeah, right? Okay. And you should have hit open. I accidentally hit done. All right. So now if you notice, it doesn't have all those controls. We're back in regular Photoshop, right? Uh, I like to drag this out so it's separate and I can do Command minus, Command plus and see the whole thing, right? Because when you have it nestled up inside of there, it's not as hard to manipulate the image. Command minus, Command plus. All right. So first rule, we've done this a long time. Click on the word background on your layers. If you don't see your layers, go to Window, Layers. Oh, also, I like to start off on Essentials for your window right here on Workspace, right? Some people like to go to the photography one, but we're just going to keep it at Essentials. Layers. Also have your history open. I have history, so go to Window, History. Remember, that's the one that kind of has everything that you've done from the beginning. As long as this file is open, you can still manipulate that. All right. Click right there where it says background, double click, call it original, right? Again, we've done this before. Command J a couple times, and that makes copies of those layers, right? So we can see it kind of before and after. I like to lock the two bottom ones, the two copies, and then I like to turn them off, right? And then select the top layer. That way I don't accidentally click on one of those layers and then try to do something and nothing happens or accidentally mess up one of those layers. All right. Cool. Now, what we're going to do standard photo prints. And I know not a lot of people get stuff printed anymore, but if you ever wanted to do something for someone, for yourself, you want to put it in a standard 8x10 frame. That's stuff you can buy at Hobby Lobby, Walmart. That is a standard print. That is different from all the stuff we've been doing here these 2 years are 8.5 by 11, right? Letter size document in Illustrator, whatever. Remember, 8 by 10 is a photographic standard print, right? So it's a little bit smaller because if you ever try to do that, you do an 8.5 by 11 print and then you have to cut it down and make it fit a standard 8 by 10 frame, right? So we're going to actually do that beforehand and have it already ready the right size. Okay. So we're going to hit the letter C for crop, right? And as soon as that pops up, go up here. If it says ratio or something else, go width times height times resolution. Let's hit clear and clear that out, right? Up here at the top, if you hit C and it said ratio, just hit C for crop. No, you don't see it? Okay. So we want width times height times resolution. And we're going to type, since this is a horizontal image, it could be a vertical one, but we're going to do 8 tab 10, oops, tab 300. Now, before you hit enter or anything, notice it says pixels per inch, right? But the Photoshop default is pixels, and I don't know if you guys see right here, it says PX. We don't want that. We want to type in IN because if you don't do that manually, you'll end up with like an 8-bit looking image. And just so you guys can see what I was talking about, don't do this. You want IN. A lot of people get so stuck on this. And if I were to hit enter, and you're like, what? That's what I end up with. All right. So be very careful of that. I've seen people get stuck on this. So it's 8, and you type the actual IN. All right. So it should look like this: width times height times resolution, and type that IN right after the 10 and right after the 8. And you should be good. Pixels per inch, not pixels per centimeter. Cool. All right. So having done that, see how it wants to cut it vertically, right? You just click and move the image this way. So if we did a crop here, that would literally be you're focusing on this building, right? But if you still want the whole thing, oops, Manzi, yep, if you mess up, then I would have typed 10, right? We're going horizontal, if you want to try that, by 8. Again, this is a standard photo print, and that might even come out on the exam, right? And I know for sure the pixels per inch comes out, right? All right. So say I'm doing one sideways, right? Or horizontal, landscape, whatever you want to call it, right? Again, it's not like a super photo, but it's decent. Okay. Next step, most important part is, and this is on the exam, and everyone here should know this because you've been here for a while. If we print on this big, large format printer, you guys that have printed posters, if we print right now on this new photo printer, right? But when we're done with these edits, right? Is print CMYK color mode or RGB color mode? What do you guys think? What's print? Print based. Is it 4-color process or is it RGB? And if you don't remember, it's CMYK, right? So right now, any Photoshop file with your phone from the camera, it's going to be shot in RGB. So we want to convert it, right? We want to convert it. Oh, let's do our crop because it won't let me do that without doing a crop. Say I like this crop right there, and I hit enter, right? Hit enter. So now you know that this is, no matter how big that file was, this is exactly 8 by 10 at 300 pixels per inch. It's actually, you know, the right size, right? It's not ginormous anymore. It's not straight from the camera. It's not straight from your phone. So then we go to mode under image, right? Anytime we print something, we want it to be CMYK, right? Whether you send it to a printer, oh, we hit don't merge here. We try to keep it layered. All right. Don't worry about what it says there. All right. If you ever work on a catalog for somebody, it's going to get printed. If you work on a book with photos, right? If you work on a book cover, right? Anything that's going to get printed, it should always be CMYK color mode, not RGB. And the morning class asked me, what happens if I send RGB files? You'll get a call from the printer and say, we can't print this because in the printing industry, you cannot print RGB as separations for the printing press, right? It has to be CMYK. All right. So next step, we changed it to, right, CMYK. That is correct, right? Say that you were happy with this, right? And you're just like, that looks good to me, right? Let's do one last thing. And that is say that you didn't open it in the CR2 raw format. There's the three commands. There's command M, which is curves, right? And you could do a slight additional adjustment here. And sometimes I call them like a slight S curve. If you notice, this is kind of like S, like a very, I know it doesn't look like an S, but that's a slight S curve, right? Sometimes you can just kind of get some of the haziness and pump up some of the darker colors this way, right? A slight S, right? And check this out. I'll say okay. Command Z. You can see it doesn't look as hazy. I kind of like what I did there, right? And then don't forget, we've got the history one that shows you everything you've done since you opened this file. As long as you have this file open, you haven't closed it and saved it, you're going to be able to go back to the beginning before we cropped it down to where we just did the last curves, right? Cool. I kind of like this one better. All right. So I'm good there. It's already 300 pixels per inch. It's exactly 8 inches by 10 inches, right? So now I always tell you guys, save as. We always got to do a save as. Always save it as a PSD Photoshop document. I'm just going to type a general description, building, right? If you guys are good at abbreviating, I'm not going to put high res, low res, or anything like that. I'm going to save this first as a PSD. That tells anyone working on photos, if you happen to be working somewhere where they edit photos, right, for magazines, books, whatever, everyone that sees a PSD knows that there's going to be some copies in there, right? And that's literally, look at the before and after, a little bit hazy. It looks a little bit nicer on the one that we did, right? Cool. Last step, if we're ready to print this, we don't send the PSD because it's layered. And if you look down here at the bottom of your file, if this were a flattened Photoshop document, it'd be 54 megabytes. Remember, sometimes if you send something to print and it's a large file, can we email it at 54 megabytes? What do you guys think? No, right? It's too big. Still, email is about 25 megabytes. Again, it should not be that big. If you were to try and print this with all three layers, even though you can't see them, it's 187 megabytes big. We don't want that. Watch what we're going to do. Our final printable JPEG is going to be like 5.67 megabytes, something easy to process, right? A lot of people don't really think about that. So once you save your PSD, now we're going to save our final JPEG, Shift Command P. Yeah, or you could do save a copy, Shift Command S. I'm sorry, I said P, but it was Shift Command S. Sorry. No wonder nothing happened, right? And then you go here, JPEG. Remember, if you don't do that Shift Command P, you got to go like this. Watch, because if you just do save as, you're not going to get JPEG. See, you have to go to the save a copy. Choose JPEG, right? It'll change it automatically. I'm going to get rid of the copy on mine, and I'm going to type HR, right? High res. Somebody just looking at it knows it's a high res image. And can I make a new folder and call it, say you have a lot of these that you're going to print, right? Final JPEGs to print. And guess what? You save all your final JPEGs to print in that one, right? So it's a folder within a folder, right? Say you're editing 100 photos. You want them all to be in that folder and done. Okay, I saved my JPEG. Now notice it still stayed as my PSD. Cool? That's fine. We did save that JPEG. All right, it's already done. And then, if you wanted to do something funny, I did this with my juniors. I went to Vecteezy. And I know this is kind of weird, but go to Vecteezy. You want to do something funny. There's a lot of this going around. I see a lot of creative people, Pinterest, Etsy, they take photos like this or old paintings and they include they include like popular culture, especially younger generation type stuff. I know everybody's gonna be like, no, but what are you doing? Well, I'm just trying to show you, try not to be just the conventional person doing whatever, right? We can do something different, right? There's no, I guess there's some rules, but can you pretty much do what you want? Yeah. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Downloads. Sorry. Where'd it go? I put it on list view. Sorry. Where'd it go? What did it save as? Hold on. I did download. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. My bad. So, is it not showing it down this view? Huh. Hold on. I gotta go to my downloads. Not working. Huh. All right, give me a second. I think it got stuck. Sometimes they get stuck on the Vecteezy. And what I do, if it gets stuck on you and it keeps downloading the same thing, just switch over to another browser. Yeah, something happened. Except Safari will ask. Oh, I did it. All right. Goes. See my downloads. Oh my God. Huh. All right, give me a second here. Why it's not showing up? Oh, weird. Okay. It ended up down here. Sorry. So I'm opening that up. Wow. Wow. Lost it. Hold on. Here it is. It's today's. It is. Okay. And check it out. I'm going to open it with Illustrator just real quick. And again, if you're like struggling to find out what to do to make some side hustle money, I don't know if anybody's seen this. Uh, I don't know if you've seen some of these people, they'll get you know how we went to the thrift stores and stuff. Sometimes you find these things for like $5. And this guy, he's like the leader right now in buying old stuff like that. And then he'll update it and paint in like popular culture stuff, stuff from your generations. I don't know if you guys have seen this stuff. And the guy makes pretty good money. I mean, some of this stuff I've seen it on Etsy, Instagram. Like this guy sells stuff for thousands of dollars. Have you guys seen this? No?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Again, even while you're still here, right? If you say no, can we print something now so I can apply it to say like me, I love like old stuff from old houses, like old windows, right? People upcycle that stuff. Could you convert one of your favorite comic book characters or animes into say like stained glass, right? And you put it on there. I might even experiment this summer and do something like that. I'm sure you've seen this kind of stuff, right? They do like Mario Brothers and all these other video game people in famous paintings. Again, stuff you can do, right? Uh, I think that's a cool idea. A lot of people making good money doing that, right? Um, Again, remember who's your target audience? Anybody with some money, right? Let's get something going like that. So anyway, I'm gonna do this similar, right? And I know some people are like, no, why are you doing this? Well, because I can. Why can't I get little Pikachu here? Free, copy him, go back to my Photoshop file, right? And it's cool. I like to hide stuff like this. I've told you all the stuff I used to do before. And I'm gonna paste this guy and I'm gonna scale him down, right? So you have this cool, awesome edit of a photo. But what if I put Pikachu right here, right? Maybe you end up coming up with your own style of stuff. Right? Why not do something different? I don't know if I should put him on the ledge. Maybe it looks like he's trying to jump off. Maybe that's not good. I don't know. Right? But I like to hide stuff like that. Cool. All right. Name your layer, Pikachu. And it's cool because sometimes you can get away with this and then people don't notice, right? Until later, until they see it. Cool. I got my little Pikachu there. Nobody knows. All right. Could we do a little Photoshop and get him in here? Sure. Could you put him in one of these windows? Do it, right? Do something, change it up, do something different. All right. So, having said that, we've done everything. I'm going to resave as a JPEG. All right. I'm just going to save over it. It's JPEG. Cool. That was one. All right. Now, this same one, everybody looking? Right? This same one. Say I want to do, and I want you guys, you're going to do a CMYK color print of whatever you want, and then you're going to do a black and white version of it. Okay. Now, I've shown you different ways of doing that. The easiest is this. So wherever you're at, let's go to this. Go to mode, grayscale. You're going to say don't merge, right? We're still in the same PSD. Cool. That takes away all the color information, CMYK, RGB, or anything. So we end up with a true black and white, right? There's just black, gray, and white. That's all there is in here, right? Now, what I'm going to do with this one, since I introduced my Pikachu, I'm going to flatten him down, merge down that layer. So he's going to become part of this one, right? And yours, hopefully you didn't add anything, but you're on your original copy, right? And remember, we've got Command M is curves, right? And you can kind of adjust it that way. And you can also do this in color, and I'll show you guys right now. I kind of like that. It looks a little bit grittier. We've got Command L for levels, right? Again, the sliders, the dark, medium, and light colors, right? What if you want it really grungy looking like that? This will be a nice black and white print, right? And then you get all these details kind of show up real nice. Kind of hard to see Mr. Pikachu, but he's there. All right. Cool. So say I kind of like that. Now, don't hit Command S because then you pretty much got rid of all the color info. Do always a save as, right? That was a save as. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Save a copy. JPEG. And on this one, guess what I'm going to put? BW for black and white, right? Anyone that sees this file, if they see BW, and HR, they're going to know it's a black and white high res version. Hit save, done. Cool. Right now, I'll print this. Okay. So that's it. Now, this one, notice I went back and made it black and white, right? But if I hit Command S, I've lost all the color information. That's where your history comes in. I'm going to go back to right before I did grayscale. Here's my color again, right? Now I do Command S and I'll have saved that, and then I can close the file and I'm done with that one. Oh, it's still saving.
So can you do the grayscale again?
Yes. I'll do it with another one. All right, let me open this one. I'll do the grayscale with this one. This one looks really good. Watch. Oh, remember I was all fascinated with these big car parts. I mean, machinery parts. All right. So I'm going to do a grayscale, but I'm going to do the regular thing first. Image size. I'm sorry. Crop. Cool. You know what? This one I'm going to do vertical. Oh, and then don't forget something like this that's kind of abstract. Everybody looking? Don't forget you can rotate if you go to the corner and you can get any angle. Like this is very hard to tell what angle it is, right? Can I rotate and do any kind of crop and it'll still be 8 by 10? Yeah, it will. Right? I could literally do this and that would be my 8 by 10 if it was just like a close up of something like that, right? Okay. So really you can crop one photo a million different ways. Right? What if we do like an extreme close up of this one? All right, I'm gonna do that. Boom. Okay. So that's a nice close up crop, right? I'm gonna do a save as. I'm gonna call this one machine. Oh, I never did my layers. Sorry. There we go. All right, here comes how to do the grayscale again. All right, so I have that one ready. And if I wanted to do a grayscale, I just go to image, mode, right? Grayscale. Don't merge. That way I can see before and after. Tell it to discard the colors. Now in this one, watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do Command M for my curves. Sorry. And then I can do a slide S curve. I can manipulate that, make it a little bit darker. And remember, what we see on screen might not print exactly. You might have to go back and tweak it a little bit if you're looking for a little bit darker image on your print. Actually, that looks really nice, right? Convert it to black and white. But don't forget to do the save as. Save a copy. Don't forget to name it black and white. It's just practice, right? Doing it over and over. Cool. And I mean, that's pretty much it. We just want one photo that you pick. And I want the color CMYK version and a black and white. Again, your choice, right? If you want to do something for someone, if you just want it for yourself, right? I'm sure you guys have some photos. If you have it on your phone, just make sure it's not a screenshot. Get it to yourself, email it to yourself. Because I really want to print these. If we don't get them done today, that's fine. But for sure, for next class, I want you to have this one ready. Cool. Pretty straightforward. Just a reminder how to do a quick edit, how to get a really good photo print that you could frame, right? This would also apply to a poster size, right? A lot of you guys have done some posters, right? Could you do this for a photo and make it poster size? Sure. Guess what? You would set up your crop to be the poster size, right? Right from the beginning, right? File, open, right? Some of you guys have done some posters in here, right? 24 by 36 is our standard size, right? You could do the same thing. Check this one out. This one's sideways, right? I just come in here and I would do 24 by 36. We're not doing a poster though, right? I'm just showing you an example, right? And that would literally be poster size if I did this crop. I know it's sideways, but you get the idea. Cool. All right. Pretty straightforward. Just some reminders how to get something set up for print. And again, a lot of this stuff is going to be on the certification exam, right? CMYK, RGB, cropping. Cool. Any questions?